going on, Jeromes? So the Minnesota Vikings cornerback trio this season has been a lot of veterans. So you got Stephon Gilmore, Shaq Griffin, and Byron Murphy, and they have indeed been an alkaline trio. Shaken. But unfortunately, when Stephon Gilmore left the game against the Cardinals with a minor hamstring injury, veteran Fabian Moreau stepped on in. He had some good plays. He had some sticky coverage, but also gave a touchdown, a couple penalties. It sort of is what it is. And Brian Flores spoke to the Media Jackals on Tuesday, and both Flores and Kevin O'Connell pretty optimistic about Gilmore's hamstring issue, calling it minor. Maybe he's going to be back on Sunday, depending on what happens in practice this weekend. But even though Flores talked up the veteran Moreau, he did specifically shout out Vikings UDFA rookie Dwight McGlothern, who's done some fantastic things in preseason. He had an 88.4 PFF grade, as well as had a nice interception against the Browns. Had some great reps in training camp as well. Made the 53 as a UDFA, which is really damn impressive. But as of yet, has not yet stepped onto an NFL field in a regular season game. And Flores did heavily infer that a debut could be coming for Dwight Nudie McGlothern, because as the Vikings, you have Gilmore dinged up now. Also, the Vikings waived to Caleb Evans. One of the reasons they're probably comfortable doing that is with the ascension of Dwight McGlothern, seeing him in practice every single day. And with Dwight, yes, Bears beats shutting down wide receivers. That's what we do, baby. Let's talk about Dwight McGlothern today. Background: 22 years young, 6'2", $185. So he's got size, he's got length, he's got physicality. Former 3-star recruit from Spring, Texas. Spent 2 years at LSU. Didn't have any crossover with Justin Jefferson, but the legacy was there. Also, he wore number 2 at LSU, just like JJ. Awesome, man. Mainly a backup, showed some flashes, but was a 4-star transfer recruit. Took his talents to Fayetteville, transferred to Arkansas. Whoo, big. Suey, developed into an assassin, man, like one of the best corners in college football. 2023, 20 tackles, 6 passes broken up, 3 interceptions, as well as a 51.2 quarterback rating when thrown at, which is good, which is pretty damn good. Also, 0 penalties, really cleaned those up. He had 10 in 2022. Also, a 91.8 PFF coverage grade, best in FBS. It did miss 3 games due to concussion, but he was good to go, right? Combine-wise, like we said, tall, long arms, but sort of average as an athlete, which isn't saying Dwight McGlothern's in the top 1% of 1% of humans on earth, but he's still average compared to other corners in the NFL. But a 5.87 RAS, 4.47 40 was sort of meh in the jumps. But overall, he can play the game. And we've talked about this before, where if you're not an uber athlete, you have to learn the technique, right? And that can actually be better, because I forgot who it was. It's from one of the Patriots or Belichick's book, but basically they had Tabucky Jones, right? Named corner from back in the day. And they said, Tabucky Jones runs a 4.3 40, but you don't know where the hell you're going, so you run a 5-second 40. That's basically it, man. And it does seem like guys who aren't the uber athletes just learn the finer points of the game, and Dwight McGlothern certainly is one of those. And his draft profile from LanceRoland@NFL.com was seen as a 5th or 6th round pick, so the fact that he went drafted, but raised a couple eyebrows. Overview: a ball-hawking cornerback with the eyes, instincts, and ball skills to flip the field against careless quarterbacks. You can do that Sunday against Kirk Cousins. McGlothern can press a little bit and handle some man coverage. However, he might be at his best in zone coverages, where he can scan the field and play chess with the route combinations and quarterbacks. He overlaps coverage areas to make plays on the ball and has cover 3 cornerback written all over him. McGlothern is passive as a run defender, which will slide him down the board for some teams. He possesses average speed and athleticism, but the skills are there to label him as a day 3 prospect with upside. So the fact that the Vikings got him as a UDFA and then he made the 53 speaks a lot about Dwight. Ball hawk, alpha male, jackhammer. Love it. Active hands, gets off blocks, pattern recognition. That's all about experience and film work. Comfortable in space. Hence he'd be really solid as a zone corner. And since the Vikings are playing a ton of zone this year, could slide on in. Instincts over speed. Good change of direction footwork. Cleanup penalties, like we said. Does need to improve as a tackler, but what's your number 1 job as a corner? Cover. Tackling is fantastic, though, right? Also, they talk about the work ethic. So Flores Florida's actually talked about McGlothern unprompted, 5-6 times this season. Always talks about work ethic. Always talks about how he takes his football seriously, which should be a given, except it's not, especially for young players coming in, getting NFL money for the first time. But McGlothern, he works after practice, working with Byron Murphy. Big time props to Murph for teaching potentially ostensibly his replacement, and also great on Dwight for grinding that film and just putting that work in. And as Flores said, like, McGlothern will get his opportunity at some point. Now, will that opportunity be kind of soon? I mean, it's possible because, yes, it's been great having these veterans in there, except as the season wears along, like, does age catch up, right? Later in games, later in the season, as the playoffs come along. And, yeah, this is a game of attrition, and some seasons can turn on the fact that, hey, you have an injury in game, and the replacement isn't up to snuff, right? And we saw it in against the Cardinals with Fabian Moreau. Now, Moreau was solid, like we said, but could McGlothern be a better alternative in that spot? Maybe not specifically for the game plan versus Arizona, since that required a lot of man coverage. I love how Flores changes the scheme and based on matchup, which is really tough to prepare for if you're an offense. But could Nudie finally get his opportunity? I think it could be in the pipeline, man. And also, I do think that Dwight is going to have some staying power. Like, it wouldn't shock me if even next year he's pushing for one of the starting cornerback spots, depending on what happens in free agency. I mean, Gilmore, Murph, and Griff, and Moreau are all on one-year deals. Are they back? Who knows? And also, you do have Mekhi Blackman coming back from ACL. I think that he's going to be a huge factor. Maybe the Vikings draft a cornerback with one of their limited draft picks. Maybe they throw big-time free agent money at a free agent cornerback, maybe like Asante Samuel Jr. all up in the building. But I do think that Dwight Nudie McGlothern is going to be a major factor in the Vikings cornerback room going forward. I love the way that he works. Love his length on the outside. And I think that he is going to see the field sooner rather than later. And like we said, I think that a big reason why they were comfortable letting go of Caleb Evans is because I think that they believe that Dwight is ready. So we'll see what happens this week in practice. But wouldn't shock me at all if he's number 29 now. 47 looked weird on corner. Yeah. But if McGlothern takes the field on Sunday for the first time in purple. But your thoughts are thoughts. Dwight Nudie McGlothern time. Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section below. You guys know what to do. Skull, production value.